Can you hear me now?
Still not popping up on my end, but oh, there it goes. I can hear you.
Nice. It's not even showing me it on Instagram.
Bob is probably yelling at the European company that emailed about being too drunk to have a call and for being near.
How do they even know that? Oh, TJ probably talked about it on Coffee Time with Bear.
I guess.
They weren't too drunk to have a call. They were sick because they got the SHOT Show ick.
That sounds like a thing. The SHOT Show ick.
It is a thing. It's pretty popular. Everybody knows about it.
Welcome to the live.
We're here. We're on a live stream, and we're streaming on a live. Where are we at? We're on YouTube.
We're on the YouTube. We're on the gram.
We're on the gram. What up, party people? Boop boop. What's up, Refuge fam? Volume is tunnel-ish. That's because you're in a tunnel. Sorry, dude. I can't change the way the microphone works.
Are they on the gram or are they on YouTube?
That's on YouTube.
On my end, YouTube sounds great.
So you're wrong. That's what I got from that. You're wrong. I'll try to watch both comment sections here. So what's up, party people? This is the Refuge HQ live stream where we talk to you about medical stuff, and you're able to ask questions. You're able to yell at us. You know, I'm able to yell at you. We can have a friendly discourse about, you know, the tactical medicine community or tactics or medicine as it pertains to us. Then we can also just talk about what's going on, just like in a general sense. Y'all ready for Civil War? It's cool. We're kicking it. You know, it's fine. I think all that stuff's still going down at the border. How did you enter the giveaway? You made a purchase during the week of SHOT Show, and you used the code NOT@SHOT. And so that was how you entered the giveaway. Troy Ramey wanted to ask y'all, does anyone know of training taking place in Montana, TCCC training? I don't off the top of my head. I have been working on like getting a list of good trainers together that are located throughout the United States. It's just taking a little bit of time because I want to vet them and make sure that, like, you know, they're giving good quality training. So I'm working on that right now. Silver Bullet, I'm in no way speaking for Refuge, just been a long time follower, and the faith is foundational to them. Yeah, absolutely. Did Silver Bullet say something? Question for Refuge. Do you guys hire people not of faith that still believe strongly in the preservation of life? Yeah, we don't discriminate. No. And that would be a foolish thing to do, just because it would be like deprivation of a witness, as well as it'd be antithetical to the purpose of saving lives. There's great practitioners of TACMed and of, you know, emergency medicine, medical care that don't believe the same ways we do. So that really wouldn't make sense for us to, like, it'd be sitting in an echo chamber, right? There's people that work for us right now that don't believe the same way I do. And, you know, Lauren doesn't believe the exact same way I do. I don't believe the same way that Lauren does. There's similarities. And then there's people that, you know, don't believe as close as me and Lauren believe, you know, or Lauren and I would probably be the proper way to say it. But no, definitely don't discriminate. If you're a jihadist, you're probably not going to have a super great time here. Just letting you know. But that's just is what it is.
So Hemi was at the doctor yesterday, and he
Yeah.
got lab work done, but the phlebotomist stretchy tourniquet wasn't working, so we handed her a soft tea. Opened the door to tell her to carry a nothing tourniquet. Can you imagine? Just like,
That is awesome.
Stretchy. We don't do an S mark anymore. We just like straight up put a tourniquet on.
Potato trying to do more boomstick bands. Yeah, that'll happen. That'll happen. The Rickster, Bob, how are you doing today? I'm doing good. I'm a little bit tired, to be honest. I was up all night last night, up and down. We had like a pack of coyotes that were circling. Really? Yeah, they were rough last night. Like really, really rough, and to the point where I have a couple of livestock guardian dogs, but they're younger. And then I have like a really good kind of just homestead dog and kind of like personal protection dog, and she stays inside with us. And it got to the point where she was like waking me up out of bed. And it was rough, man. The last one was like at 3:30 in the morning. I was like, please stop. And like the second I got to the door, I opened the door and I could hear him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I had to grab a rifle and like put my shoes on. And so I'm out there like trying to get eyes on one. And I don't know, they just smell it the second I come out. They're like, everybody run, scatter. And we had a couple of lambs that dropped 2 days ago. So trying to be really attentive to the flock right now. So I'm a little tired. What?
Are we hiring just for trainers, or do we have other job openings?
We are hired. We've filled one position. We are hiring for 3 positions. So we have 2 more positions open. With that being said, one of the positions is not a training position. It's in the store. But if I can have somebody with medical experience, TAC med experience, fill that position, it is preferred. Just because it's relevancy to the industry, right? That being said, if you have like a crazy operations manager resume, if you're like, dude, I can manage and logisticize out my ears, you can send me a resume. I'm open to it. You know, I've been convinced of weird things, and there's a lot of people that work here that had no prior TAC med experience that do awesome jobs. So Bob at Refuge Medical, you can send in a resume. The positions do require relocation, and like we're not going to buy a house for you and stuff like that. There are people that are like, well, you know, do you pay my rent for the first 6 months? Nope, we're just not that big of a company. You know, this is an opportunity to get in on a startup. You know, we're on this is our 5th year as a startup, so it's a little bit fresh. How many times can you be baptized? My sister-in-law's friend says as many as you want. She says she's been baptized 6 times. I'm thinking that seems like a lot, but I don't know enough to defend that. I would agree as many times as it needs. The real question is why does she feel the need to keep getting baptized? Where is her foundation in faith? And you know, what is she leaning on? And why does she feel the need to have keep being cleansed? You know, because we should be dying to our sins daily. Renewal of mind and body daily. You know, I've been baptized multiple times, so and I'll tell you what, it took the last time for it to really stick and to make sense, and you know, me to really start walking alongside the Creator. And sometimes it's about an outward confession of faith, an outward confession of submitting. So it's challenging because you know, you want to hold people accountable, but you don't want to judge people for where they are in their walk, and so it's a rich dichotomy. It really is. My first time joining. Love the customer service and notices from Refuge. Customer for life. Christopher Smith, we freaking love you, bro. We just love you. We want you to not die because that's lame. Until it's your time to go, because everybody's going to die. No one's getting out of this thing alive. Who is baptizing you 5 times? That's a good question. You know, I mean, is it the same person that's baptized you over and over again? What's the duration of time? You've been baptized 5 times in 5 months. 5 times in 50 years, you know?
And just why don't you keep your eyes on Yeshua?
Yeah.
And let other people
everybody's
their faith.
everybody's at a different place in their faith. It's we should never criticize somebody for wanting to get baptized and wanting to walk closer to the Messiah and confess their sins, be washed of their sins, and be filled with the Spirit, you know? So, you know, bit of perspective. Keep your keep your foot out of your brother's house type of deal. Get that man some coffee, dude. I'm just tired.
Bob, look, there's some grounds right there. All right, just do it like a protein scoop, you know, where you just you ripped open the bag. You did it. You ripped open the bag.
I'm gonna do a line of this right here.
Right, what? It's ruined. I'm glad I took pictures of it already.
Ooh, that hits good. I actually got some on my nose. All right, that's not how you use coffee, folks. I'm up. He sees me. I'm not down. That's very tasty.
Moose Run coffee.
Moose Run coffee. Mikvah was a requirement before entering the temple, and there are instructions about being mikvah after certain events. That's a good word, Troy. That's a really good word. That's a really, really good word. That's interesting. Kennel Jayhawk, that is not scriptural. Well, then teach us, bro. I'm open to be taught. Yeah, teach us. Don't just say that's not scriptural. If you got something to teach, teach. If you got something to share, share. Admonish your brothers, wash their feet, right? Bob, do you count military lives saved like civilians and first responders? Sometimes, if we can talk about them. If we can't talk about them, we don't. So there's that too. Is that coffee?
Oh my gosh.
Dude.
Ren for the win.
Dude, what a guy.
You didn't put the right stuff in it.
It's black.
He just looks at me like.
Whoa, is there sugar in that?
Splenda.
It's syrup. A little bit. We got different definitions of little, I'll tell you that much. All right, now, cheers, Ren. Does Moose Run make packets like shoal and in between the cheek and gun?
You know what? We should tell Matt about that.
Yeah, that would be smart, like little coffee
that's it.
pouches.
Yeah.
People do it.
I know he wants to make instant coffee eventually, which
What up,
would
12C?
be amazing if he did make it, because like when you get Folgers instant coffee, it's just like chemicals. It just tastes like chemicals.
Beartron asked, how's the tally board coming? Great question, Beartron. It's now a tally screen. There's a whole program that's being built around this. You see what you've done? Do you see what you've done? We started at chalkboard. We've now ended up with screen and special program. So yeah.
Is it going to be like a projector on the wall?
Hello from Virginia. What up? What do we got here? What's it say? If you can't own firearms, how does one protect his family and friend and self?
Move to where you can.
I think that could be a potential
okay.
felon or something like that, or have a restriction or something like that. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer.
So, I would take self-defense
Nope.
classes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can take like self-defense classes hand to hand and stuff like that. But as far as like telling you what to do in that regard, I'm not gonna do that.
I saw somebody on Instagram. I mean, I see a lot of things on Instagram when it comes to like guns and that kind of stuff. But basically, this guy, his catalytic converter was being stolen from his truck. So he brought a freaking paintball gun out, just started popping the guy.
He said
with it, and ran
PTSD
off.
from a TBI.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Maybe. So community is awesome, right? So maybe reach out to the people that live near you and be like, hey, I'm not comfortable having firearms in my home for this reason, this reason, this reason. Do you have firearms? Is there something that I can do to benefit you so that you can depend on me and I can depend on you? Stuff like that. Maybe a sling. And I say that not as a joke. Like actually slingshots are really cool, and you know you can actually work like a biblical sling and do a lot with that. So that's an option. Hand to hand, stuff like that. What do we got? Thoughts on HR 6981? Would affect nearly all training and civilian response organizations. Yeah, I've seen it. We've talked about it. It's not good. A bunch of us in the training spaces have been talking about it. Call your freaking congressman. Like, that's my main thoughts on it. You need to call your congressman and you need to scream at them. And you need to, I mean, probably not scream, but you need to be focused. You need to organize. You need to get out there in front of people, and you need to actually communicate and be like, hey, this needs to not pass. This is nonsense. I'm really curious, like, what happens to airsoft too. Like, there's a bunch of airsofters that are out there airsofting and do milsim. Like, does that make all of them criminals now? There's like millions upon millions of airsofters across the country.
What is the bill?
So the bill is basically like it's an anti-training bill. So like if 2 or 3 people are training formations or group movement or defensive tactics or anything that would function as law enforcement or military, and it's like, you know, it's really rough.
So like basically anything that could prepare people to be able to defend themselves in a real world situation, they don't want them doing that.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of stuff we'd have to change in our training. There's a lot of stuff we'd have to change in our training. Our training teaches bounding. Our training teaches team movements. One of our classes has a patrolling aspect, just because it would be useful. It's good information to have. By the way, these are all handbooks that were sold to the general public for, I don't know, the last 80 years. You can go online on Amazon right now and buy a basic patrolling handbook. It's like $12.
Did you get like the Army Green Beret handbook on Amazon?
Yeah, you can get the Army Green, or not Green Beret, you can get the Army Ranger handbook.
That's what I meant, sorry.
You get the Army Ranger handbook. That doesn't teach like patrolling, but I mean, it's very similar concepts, you know, formations, all that stuff. You can't get rid of militia. It's in the Second Amendment. Yeah, okay. They're trying, so. I mean, there's good argument that the WF is trying to get rid of the First Amendment. Shalom, my homie. I love you, dog. 2 or more doing hand-to-hand, weapons training, commo, TAC med, etc. Yeah, it's definitely really interesting. Everybody should get involved and, you know, probably start calling your congressman, maybe go and arrange a sit-in or something like that. I know that our congressmen are not for it here in Oklahoma. But also there's like a civil war that's starting in the south of the border. Like half of the states are like aligning against the federal government right now. So I maybe also pay attention to that. If you don't have your gear, I don't know what you're doing.
Did you see the clip of the lieutenant governor? He's like, yeah, they said, what do they say? Like, they could cut the razor wire. That's cool. They can cut it. We'll replace it. But like,
yeah. And I would be cautious. You said, I'm afraid of getting shot in our state capital. Then you should move to a different state, friend. Or you should go with so many people that they can't shoot them all. Then with that, and I'm not advocating for violence, I'm advocating for strength in numbers to go petition your politicians to work on behalf of you because you are the constituents in which they are supposed to represent. So caution, those who have eyes to see, ears to hear when it comes to the border. Don't buy everything you see. It's not what it looks like. It's very different. It's definitely not it's not all it seems, is what I can say, just from having friends that are down there. There's places of the border that are still wide open. The National Guard isn't doing as much as they think. Brass and the National Guard are fighting the troops that are trying to do the work. Everybody's afraid of getting called out in the media. It's like pre-Lexington and Concord kind of stuff, just big standoffs. Bob, how is the T&E of the pants? I assume you're talking about the Born Primitive pants, and they're freaking awesome. Anytime I'm doing anything, I'm wearing those pants. They're seriously so comfortable, and they're really nice. They're lighter than like G3s. Excuse me, and they're just high quality pants. They really, really are.
that video's coming out this weekend.
Yeah, we have a whole video that's coming out doing a blood test with the different sets of pants. Like G3 combat pants, like BDUs, the Born Primitive pants, some denim pants, kind of just comparing the different options so you guys can see how it responds to like a massive critical bleed. Beartron said, the Constitution says we are able to be well-trained in using a gear that everyone reveres. If you're not fit, you're going to die. PT is huge. Training is more important than ever. Yeah, everybody should be going and doing PT. Everybody should be going and doing PT right now. Everybody should be in fit, capable shape. You should go to the gym. You should be running. Cardio, it's like the first rule of Zombieland, right? Cardio. Got to have good cardio. You got to be able to run. You got to be able to stay moving for a long period of time. Like arguably longer than a mile. Like if you can't run a mile, like start working towards that. If you can run a mile, you can outrun majority of people, just so you know. What do you think about the WW3 topic? What do you mean? We're in it. It just hasn't been announced. How many countries need to be at war for it to be a world war? And how many countries do we need to support at war for it to be a world war? Just the American military machine is just being stood up right now by the American taxpayer. This is my personal opinion, right? And it's just shelling out money to whoever can buy it, you know, and don't think that we just support one side. It's whoever has cash. And it's unfortunate. It is what it is, you know. Bob, tell them how much fitness impacts your survival in a traumatic injury. Yeah, so that's huge, right? So you got to think about like circulatory health, respiratory health, all these things. If you're inside of a traumatic event, if you're already suffering from poor circulation, if you're already suffering from poor respiration, your O2 is already down, your blood flow is already down, if you suffer a traumatic bleed, it's not going to help. If you're suffering a puncture to the pleural space, it's not going to help. Also, physical fitness, like having the stamina to be able to withstand hard things is a big deal. The body being able to withstand pressure, to be able to withstand, you know, high rates of stress, that's going to be huge. If your body's not used to stress, if your body's never had a heart rate of 170 or 160, then, you know, don't be surprised when it starts to fail at 170 to 160 to, you know, at that point. You know, a lot of people will black out at 190. I personally have been at 190 inside physical training exercises. It's very, very rough. I had to take a knee at 192. And it just was what it was. My body was like, sit down. And it's good to, if you have like a heart rate monitor or something like that, or Apple Watch. I don't recommend an Apple Watch, but something that can track your heart rate. It's good to monitor what your body is doing at certain heart rates so that you can know where you're at. Like, oh, my body does this in the 160s, my body does this in the 150s, so on and so forth. That way you can train your body to work through those problems and sustain a lower heart rate, as well as you can kind of know, like, oh, I'm getting to the danger zone, I have to breathe here, or I'm really relaxed right now, I can press myself and push myself harder, right? Opinion on adding low intensity heat pads to hypothermia kit, any other recommendations? I recommend it personally. I've talked to a couple of high-end medics and they do it. They have no white page data on it. I taught one of my good buddies, he's a SARC medic, and he recommends hot hands. He's like convinced that putting hot hands in somebody's hand, putting it over their heart when they've suffered a critical bleed, helps them so much. He's like, I can't prove it, but it does. So I like it, low intensity heat pads. I bought some Born Primitive pants and love them. The assault pants. Yeah, the assault pants are kicking. They're super dope. They really, really are.
For the hot hands, Bob, it's also important, though, that you don't heat them up too quickly, right? Don't you want to, like, gradually bring their temperature?
Well, and with that, you're not going to, like, most of the time with those, like, you're not going to see,
you're
like,
not gonna, put 30 of them.
You don't throw, like, 100 hot hands onto somebody, especially if they're hypothermic. Like, it's more so, like, maintaining body temperature. So a packet, 2 packets of hot hands, that's not going to do as much as people think. And like I said, there's no white page data on that, so that's all conjecture, right? That's not hard, fast rules. This isn't me teaching you to do that. This is me just saying, like, from what I've seen in the last 2 years from talking to people, it does make sense. Oof, my blood pressure runs in the 40s to 50s, my heart rate run in the 40s to 50s. That's actually pretty good, like low systolic heart rate. I mean, it's not always good, but to have a calm heart rate is a good thing. Germany, France, Sweden, United Kingdom, Serbia, United States, Australia, Taiwan, Norway have all adjusted conscription or entry requirement in the last 90 days. Yep. On the topic of training, besides medical and tactical training, everyone should take a reputable armorer's course to be able to service their weapon systems properly. Yeah. I would say that more important than that, everybody should be taking gardening courses to be able to grow food. Do you have food? What if you cannot go to the grocery store, right?
Don't start thinking like, oh, I'll just garden.
That's
now,
not happening.
Like, now that I'm under stress and I've never done it before and I have crap soil and I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
Yeah, you don't know what's going to grow in your zone. Like, you don't know what your water looks like. All these things. You really need to be looking into your food and sustainable food systems now. Excuse me. I'm trying to drink this coffee as fast as I can. But, like, in all reality, thinking like, and I get it. Right? Everybody goes to firearms because they're sexy, they're cool, it's good looking, yada, 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 comma. That's not the most important thing. It really isn't. The most important thing is be able to sustainably provide food for your family and for your people. What do you got a serious face on over there?
No, I'm just having problems with my freaking email. My email's like, open the app on your iPhone. I'm like,
you can't do that.
Can't do that. My iPhone is currently indisposed.
Yeah, food and water. Water, right? Grow your antibiotics, antivirals. Strictly Medicinals is a great seed company. That's a great one. Not Starving is sexy. Based.
And my gardener's really good.
LFG. Yeah, that's right. Lucky Thoughts. Let's go. Food. Yeah, I like to eat.
If you catch certain companies too, like when the season's coming to an end, like at my gardener, you can get stuff at like 50% off sale. And your seeds are, if you buy it from the year before or even the year before that, don't think that your seeds are just going to go bad after, you know,
Right.
6 months or whatever.
Somebody asked, do the Born Primitive pants have built-in knee pads? So they don't have built-in knee pads. What they do have is they have an internal compartment for a knee pad, and then they sell a set of knee pads. The knee pads that they sell are a little bit thinner, which is nice. Like if you're just like using them every day. If you're like really heavy on concrete surfaces on your knees a lot, I like a little bit thicker, more foamy knee pads. They still fit in there though. And they work really good. I like them better than the external knee pads because I've seen dudes get knee pads snagged that are like sticking out by a bush or a snag or something like that. And then it's just like, bye knee pads, see you later. And you realize it later.
We had someone ask, are there women, is there a company that makes women, like tactical pants for women?
Born Primitive has a line that's launching, I think, in June? I think it's in June.
Are they advertising that now?
Yeah, they are advertising it. They have a women's line that's coming out, women's tactical pants. That being said, like...
A lot of the girls here get it from Duluth.
Like Duluth, you can also, if you're a lady, just order G3 combat pants and they work the exact same.
I wore some of my husband's pants. I was like, these are awesome.
Yeah.
He got them. They were too short for him, and so I tried them on. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
They fit like they should too, like because they're slim fit. They're not like baggy or whatever. So.
Yep, they're really good. I agree with the food and water comment, Bob. I just meant as far as things can be taught by someone else and a person that are subject matter experts. I don't know too many gardening classes.
YouTube, man.
YouTube is a thing. Also, like, go to the co-op, bro. Yeah. Go to the co-op. Every co-op you go to is a gardening class, is an agriculture class. You're going to talk to some old heads that have been running cattle for 700 years in their family. And they're going to be like, well, why would you do that in this region? Because this region has too much of this mineral. You got to switch over to this mineral. You got to do this, that, and the third. You gotta go to the co-op. It's a great resource.
Get local seeds. Get seeds that came from plants that were grown in your region that have already been like established. Not like seeds that were grown in Michigan.
Yep.
And then like you're putting them in the ground in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
No, like go to your local. Like
the soil level is going to be completely different.
Whatever, and get seeds that are local to your area.
What if I identify as a stick of butter? Do I order those pants?
What does that mean?
If you identify as a stick of butter, I'm going to recommend that you don't order those pants. You go to your nearest church, talk to them, have them talk you through about how you're created in the image of the Most High and not created in the image of lard. So, you know, little stuff like that.
Let's see. Cal said, my knee pads fell out during R3. The rest of the class was not so fun without them. I believe that.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know a lot of people who have had that happen. The knee pads just fly out. You know, it's all fun and games until the knee pads are gone, and now you're like, oh, cool, that's a rock in my kneecap. Sweet, super nice, very fun. Much for fun now time. A lot of people are like, I love Duluth. Yeah, Duluth is awesome. We do have the giveaway that we're going to be giving away during this live stream. We're not going to do it just yet. Hey, Ren. Can you go grab me the 2 tack straps and the op pack that are sitting on the desk over there? I think 2 of the modules have been undone from it. I'm not positive. Just, you know, take a look. We'll go over it. What else we got? Also learn by doing, learn by failure. Yeah, it's one of the best training mechanisms out there is learning by doing, in all seriousness. That's why we've been saying, I mean, I feel sometimes like a broken record. Because I've been like, hey guys, you got to do stuff. Hey guys, you got to do stuff. Hey guys, you got to do stuff. And people are like, oh, no, it's fine. I have time. Oh, no, I'll get to it next year. And it's like, well, okay, it's a bold move, Cotton. We'll see how it plays out for him. Can you see if those 2 little baggies are there, those little modules? Do-doot, 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 do-do-do, do-ba-do-do-do-do. Show you guys this cool tactical operational pack here. This is a flat pack from Tasmanian Tiger. It's built to go over a plate carrier or a chest rig or something like that. That way it doesn't interfere. It's got a bunch of modular capability. Little flat pocket here for admin cards. Thank you. It also has an emergency tag on the bottom. So you pull this guy out, and you have a bright orange flag, and you can do a couple different things with that. You can keep it on the bag, and you can attach it to the front like so.
Shannon, I don't know if you're being sarcastic about the live set plant looks amazing, and then she put like the water thing on there. I'm just gonna take that freaking plant home. It needs to be watered. I'm in the office like an average of 1 day a week, and I remember to water it sometimes. I can grow food outside. Houseplants need really low maintenance.
So you can put this Highviz Flag on the op pack like so. So if you were like in an op, or like you were going to like a mass CAS event rather, not in an operation, you can run this flag like that. That way people see you. Usually bad guys don't put Highviz orange on them. Usually. Sometimes I'm sure all things are possible, but less likely, right? Less likely. And that just goes back in the bottom, or you can take it out. It like unvelcros in here. Stuff that guy back in there. Skadoosh. On the side here, you've got a litter, little quick litter. There's 4 modules that detach really quickly. Inside those 4 modules are bleeding control modules. So you have a tourniquet, you have quick clot gauze, you have an S-mark bandage, you have some gloves. So each one of these modules has that in there. So that way you can rip them off, hand them to people like so. We go into this bad mamma jamma. People are probably like, how do you get entered into that? You should have paid attention. That's how. If you're not subscribed to the email and the SMS, I recommend you subscribe to the email and the SMS because we give awesome stuff like this away all the time. The next giveaway that we have is probably going to be like $10,000 worth of goods. It's no joke.
We still have the family preparedness giveaway going.
The family preparedness giveaway is going on right now. That's a $1,000 home first aid kits bundle. It comes with an adventure kit, a family tourniquet pack, a boo-boo kit. What's the other one? What else does it come with? Ankle kit. That's what it is. And family tourniquet pack, yeah. Ankle rig. So you open this guy up. Boom. We have in here, this is all assorted gloves right here. Got compressed gauze, survival blankets, a couple of different tapes for you. Easy access. In the back here, you've got Oleus bandages. Easily accessible. This is a bag through Gadsden Dynamics. They probably don't even know that we're doing this with their gear, but that's cool. In this, you have kind of like airway. So you got a CPR mask, you've got chest seals, you've got extra pads, decompression needles, you got exam pen light, Sharpie, all that good jazz. Boom, boom. It was built to be like kind of a module. You could take that and hand it to somebody. Boom. Then here you got a little surgical set. Do some field expedient surgery, or you could repack it how you want to, but this module rips out, so it can be handed to people. And then you have a little triage bag like so. You can mess with the labels too. You can take these off if you want to, right? Relabel it how you see fit. Trying to show you guys the best I can. You got your shears in your little triage bag. You have a bunch of gauze, support, skin glue, suture strips or steri strips, an extra Sharpie, some more tape, some Coban. Boom, boom. Then in the back here, you have a military surgical kit. That all makes up the op pack, right? And then don't forget you got 4 tourniquets, 4 quick clot, a bunch of wound packing gauze.
You move it all on the plants like
I know it's.
the water's going.
We just need to tighten this table up. That's what it is, right? So this pack right here, this would be awesome if you're like worried about operational capability when it comes to TACMED. If you work on a team or you have a mag or you have a group of guys that go to the range together, this would be literally everything you need and then some, right? If you work on a TAC team, if you have a son, uncle, cousin, brother who's an operator, phenomenal pack for it. So this is a high quality pack right here. We'll be giving that away here shortly. So stay tuned to see if you're the winner of that pack. Wow, Bob, that bag is insane. Yeah, that bag is insane. We were working with Tasmanian Tiger to offer up some new flat packs to just give a little bit more capability in the modular side of our bags. You know, that's something we're working on production-wise here. They near-shore their bags, which, you know, it's not as good as U.S. made, but it's not big China, which is a big thing for us. And it's, dude, it's a freaking awesome pack.
I personally really like the flat packs.
Yep.
Just, I don't know. Everybody has like their own style and like what they. I don't like bulk. So
Yep.
Like, I like the fact that it's so compact, but it still has so much stuff in it.
Yeah, and I mean, everything has its place, right? Like, there's a place for the stomp bag.
Yeah.
The stomp bag's huge. It's 44 pounds. You have a field hospital on your back. That's not a field hospital. It's not even close, right? You're not starting IVs with that. You're not doing extensive surgery. You're not prolonged field carrying out of that bag. But you still have immense capability to render aid and save lives. Also, with the op pack, you're getting 2 tack straps. And so these are the tactical tourniquet solutions from Alien Gear Holsters. And these go on. You can put your holster into this, and you can fix it like so, and it stops the blood flow inside of a critical bleed. Stops the blood flow in a critical bleed. Bad mamma jammer. Yeah, dude, it's really cool. The pack is nice. Like, really like those small modules. Yeah, I really like those small modules too. We got a couple of bags that are in T&E right now that are our own bags, and I can't talk too much about them, but it's pretty freaking sweet. If you don't have the suture training kit, get one. It's awesome. Yeah, the suture training kit, people are sleeping on. And I mean, that's okay. I was trying to explain to somebody the other day. They're like, so like, if this happens and it's SHTF, like, what do you do? I'm like, what do you mean, what do you do? She's like, what if you don't have a doctor? I'm like, well, you're going to have to figure it out.
Dr. Quinn, medicine woman, that's you now.
Right. And you're going to have to work through these issues. I mean, that's why we sell the training kits and the tools that we do, so that way you can kind of work through those solutions in your own head. So something to really think about. What do you recommend for SHTF or a Bugout bag? I got a Tactica Taylor Malice on a good deal. I'm wondering if I should keep it or get something else. Personally, it really depends. Dude, I don't even like Bugout bags because I don't think you should be in a place where your solution is to bug out. If that's like your #1 solution, you should bug out right now. I bugged out 2 years ago, personally. So, you know, but if you're like, oh, what if there's a fire or something like that? It's really the bag that can carry the gear in the most comfortable way that you can go in a long duration, right? So whether that's an Eberly stock, whether that's a Squatch Survival, whether that's Mystery Ranch, whether that's the Tactical Taylor, those are all good options. It's just what works for you and your body style and your frame, right? There's nothing wrong with the Alice. Like, it's been going for literally ever and a day. There's a reason for that, but there's also some newer technology that's a little bit more comfortable. Big fan of Eberly stock, personally, right? Big fan of...
I thought it was Everly stock, like with a V, until I watched Ed from Meridian. He was like, and I saw that it was Everly. I was like, oh, I looked at Heath and I was like, I thought it was a V. Like, no, it's Eberly stock.
Yeah, it's a B.
You know, B, tomato.
Is super glue the same thing as liquid bandage?
No.
No, it's
Can
not.
I speak on that?
Please.
All right, so I actually have they are very similar. But don't use super glue. If you use it too much, you're going to develop an allergy to it. Ask me how I know.
There you go.
I've gotten too much of it on my skin before, and now I'm freaking allergic, and I have, like, hives break out in my hands.
Yeah. Only need the bug out here if it's a tornado coming. We bug the other way. Yeah, I'm a bug in type of guy. Hunker down, guys.
Don't think that they're like, oh, the bad things are happening. Let me take my whole family and put us in the woods.
That's a terrible idea. So let's talk about this for really quick, right? We got 107 of our closest friends here on YouTube. We have an undisclosed amount sitting on Instagram, probably 15 to 20. And with that, 4, right? So, I mean, that is what it is.
Sorry.
All right. Bad day, SHTF, right? You know, bad stuff is happening. Bad people are doing bad things. Your solution is to take your family and walk through the woods to where?
Yeah.
Walk down. Are you going to walk down the road? You don't want to walk down the road because that's the main means of travel. So then you're in the woods, you're in the fields, you're in the swamp, you're in the creek, you're in the river, all that. Okay, when's the last time you did that? Have you ever tried to do that with your family? Have you ever tried to take your family, so like take your wife, take your 5-year-old and your 12-year-old, and then go walk through the woods? Do it. Try to make it a mile tactically. Try to do it.
Being quiet.
Being quiet. That's what I mean by tactically, right? Maintaining noise discipline, maintaining light discipline, maintaining trash discipline, maintaining your signature like as minimal as possible. I don't think that that's going to work as well as you think it will. I really don't. You know, and I don't want to allow people to be disillusioned about like, I'm going to grab my bug out bag and my family and we're going to ruck out of here to safety. This isn't a fucking movie, dude.
Robert Bates said that he lives on an island 2.5 hours from the mainland by boat. There's no bugging out. Have what you need or don't bother trying.
That's crazy. That is crazy. I mean, it's a good security room until it's not. Like,
Yeah.
it's great until somebody gets to the island, and then you're like, oh, ruh-roh. I agree. I'm a hunkered down kind of girl too. I have to get home bag just in case I'm not home in SHTF. Yeah,
That's a really good idea.
that makes sense, right? Having a bag, like a get home bag, is different than having a bug out bag. And I think people have a disconnect about that. Like, I have a get home bag in my truck. It's got a little bit of food, it's got a little bit of water, it's got a little bit of shelter, and it's got a little bit of medical, and it's light, right? Travel light, travel right. People have, 16 multi-tools and 3 canteens and 9 spare batteries and a lantern in their bug-out bag. They've never rucked, 5 miles with it, let alone the 15 miles that they work away from home. So I think there's a disconnect there in the prepper community about doing that. I tried to take my 9, 8, 6, and 5-year-old through the pasture, 1/4 mile and back, and it was a disaster, let alone adding my wife and an 8-month-old. The farm will hunker down. Yeah, that's the reality, right? I mean, you got a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 8-year-old, 9-year-old, and 8-month-old, and then you got one other person, your wife, right? Okay, we have to run. Who's picking all those children up? Because they're not running at the speed of an adult, right? And heaven forbid something bad happens and you need to pick all those children up. So let's shatter our myopic paradigms here. Let's not allow ourselves to live in fantasy land. Let's be prepared Americans where we are. Let's build strong, resilient communities. Let's build hard targets where we are. And if that's impossible, if you're like, Bob, I live in Chicago, I can't possibly build a hard target there. Cool, bro. Leave. Leave it. Leave it. Leave the place. I have a house. I don't like, oh yeah, you're the only one that's moved that had a house. Dude, it's possible. It's just do you actually think it's gonna happen? Do you actually think stuff's gonna get bad? And if you do, you take it seriously. I've got 60 plus emails in my inbox right now of people that are asking me to move here to come work for a job, right? And they live in a lot of them live in places that are bad. They're like, yeah, man, we're gonna sell everything, we're gonna get rid of everything, and we're move, right? So it's food for thought in that, dude. Really, really think about it. Get home bag with me all the time in the vehicle. Once home, staying there. LOL truth, 5 miles with an extra 10 pounds, let alone 30 pounds, is not an easy task. How about 5 miles with your rucksack and then carry your 5-year-old? What's that look like? What's the average weight of a 5-year-old? Probably 50 pounds, 40 pounds, maybe?
Yeah,
that seems about right. 30,
That's
40 pounds. So 30, 40 pounds plus your 40, 50 pound rucksack. So you're carrying, 80, 90 pounds right there for 5 miles. And by the way, your 5-year-old's not going to stand still. Your 5-year-old's going to wiggle and mess around and cry and scream and might even want to throw themselves like out of your arms and all that stuff, let alone be quiet. I mean, come on, guys. Let's be serious here. Remote rucking details. I don't have a lot of information about the remote rucking. You're going to want to email events@calebhouse.org. Go to the refugeruckus.com. You can sign up there as a remote rucker, and you can get the information as to how to properly do it at that website. I don't have a ton of the information. I wish I did. I haven't studied that as much as I should, and I accept that rebuke, and I will do better. Stop sucking, Bob. Got it, Bob. Thanks, Bob. I worked 14 hours in a chemical suit with an electrostatic sprayer backpack on the entire time, 45 pounds when full of product. That's brutal work. Not wearing a suit is a walk in the park. Yeah, I believe that. I believe that. More skills equals less reliance on gear. Yeah, that's absolutely true. If you guys only knew how much you could do with a piece of paracord, like a singular 5-foot strand of paracord, you can do so much. And, people want to carry like mobile chainsaws. It's like, bro, settle down. You don't need 3 hatchets, a knife, and then, a digging tool and then a trenching tool, all that stuff. Settle down. You need skills. That's what it's like.
It's like camping versus glamping, You like Bugout bag glamping.
Yeah, it's people are. It's like there's this bushcraft movement that's going on right now, and everybody's like, look at my bushcrafting set, and it's like all these different tools. Meanwhile, there's like some 65-year-old guy in Appalachia. He's just got a knife. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about, old son. This is the only thing you need to bushcraft.
Builds a house.
Yeah, builds a literal house.
A tree and a knife.
Yeah, a tree and a knife. And it's like, oh my gosh, guys, buying stuff on Amazon or whatever company from Instagram does not equate to you knowing how to use it. It's okay, Bob. We all know how hard you work. I appreciate that. I appreciate your understanding and grace. 5% gear, 94% suck it up. That's a great word.
Hey guys, we have 16 people who haven't hit the thumbs up. Please hit that thumbs up. Help us with the algorithm.
Yeah, help us with the algorithm. They hate us here. They freaking hate us. And that's okay, because we love them. And so we'll just love them through their hate. Wildfire is the only thing that's got me moving out. Yeah, that's the biggest threat, really, to my house, is a wildfire. That and coyotes. Jerks.
Billy Bob Shakespeare over on Instagram said, I think Bugout is a reasonable choice in about 0.1% of situations.
Yeah.
Wildfire or nearby chemical spill being the prime examples.
Yep, that's a great, yeah, I would, and the people are like, I'd only bug out if there's a tornado. You're not going to have time for that. Like, let's be honest. Like, you're going to get a tornado warning 30 to 45 minutes before the tornado hits, maybe. That's like everything's perfect, and you got that warning.
And you drove to the shelter if you don't already have one.
Yeah.
You hunkered down in your closet.
Right. So, wildfire, you know, like, where do you guys, I mean, I don't know. If you guys live in New York City, like, maybe there is an invasion coming to you. I live in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, so it's like.
707 said, we stalk Ryan Hall, though.
Yeah, that's so
valid.
true.
That's such a valid point.
What good is having all the tools and not knowing how to use them? What good is having all the tools if you do know how to use them? Because I can do a lot of tac med with what's on my body right now. Do I want that? No, I don't. But you got to understand principles and concepts. Be a student of the craft, right? Rather than trying to like craft stewardship.
That's Brandon and bushcrafting/bugging out. I'm in Nebraska. The corn disappears, and we have 15 trees grown up a fence line. No woods to hide in. I can't even think through bug out contents for this environment.
Yeah, that's a great word. You know, people are like, I'm just going to bushcraft my way and hunt my way through the apocalypse.
But where?
My brother in Christ, you live in the city. You're not hunting anything.
I don't. Oh, gosh.
I'm just going to hunt. I'm just going to hunt. It's going to be good. Yeah, you're the only guy that's thinking that, and you're definitely the best hunter.
Wait, let me just say, if your idea is that you're just going to hunt, how many hunts do you go on a year, and how many of them do you come home with something?
Yeah, do you feed your family from hunting now?
Like, if you're Cam Haines, okay, maybe. But, like, if you're just, like, the average Joe that hunts, you know for sure that you come home empty-handed more times than you come home with a freaking deer. And if you have a big family, that one deer is not going to last that long.
When things go down, bear in mind, even Tier 1 operators will become marauders. Maybe Tier 1 operators watch the bear show and they've got preps and they're going to be sitting at home eating popcorn that they prepped 5 years ago.
Dude, 707, you're so fast, it makes me feel like you're, like, almost hearing what I'm saying before I say it. The second time, she's like, yes, what she said. I'm like, I just said it.
I just said it.
You type fast.
Supplement at best. Yeah, and that's at best. Guys, if something bad happened and people weren't able to go to the grocery store, the wild game population would do what it did in the Great Depression, which is disappear. It would disappear because people who are way better at hunting are going to go out and hunt. And by the way, if I was sitting there and I was like, man, I need to hunt to get food, and I saw 6 deer, I wouldn't take one. I would take all 6, and then I would salt and cure the other 5.5, right? Like, that's smart, because if you, it's the bird in the hand worth 2 in the bush, you know?
Like, that's one big thing for me. I need to grow in confidence for canning, because canning is something you can do without electricity. If you can, you know, boil, like, pressure can. If you
Oh, yeah.
Canner, you can can the mess out of all that beer.
You're good to go.
But you don't want to let the cans freeze in the winter. So
Yeah,
that.
there's some temperature control there. Bob, 35 years, fire department EMS. Retired, but gardening has been good. Fishing will be big this coming summer. Medical supplies everywhere, but I need to get the family in to stop the bleed ASAP. Robert, why don't you come out for our July class, take a Stop the Bleed course? or have your family come out and take a Stop the Bleed course. We don't do Stop the Bleed. We do a bleeding prevention, TACMED kind of TECC course, as well as we do a preparedness mindset course. Gives you a lot of tools in the tool chest, very affordable, allows people to do some scenario training, which absolutely shatters their paradigms. Everybody thinks they're a cool guy till the flashbang goes off. Everybody thinks they're cool. And it's just, it's a different type of training. It really is. And it gives you the opportunity to have your people trained by somebody other than you, because I know how difficult it can be to try to train your loved ones. Definitely struggle. I'm in eastern Nebraska right now, so there's more bird-pooped established trees, but still a large portion of our state would be bugging out to a cornfield. Yeah.
Cornfield Tee.
Cornfield Tee. Okay. Well, that'd be.
Imagine like corn stalks that you
Like,
just kind of like, put together. And,
For show.
over on Instagram, we had a question. What about Europe? What can we do when power goes off and a war starts in the rich west of Europe?
I don't even know. So you guys have access to some, like that's so, the same things. And like, I think it was at the WEF, somebody speaking, or maybe it was the EU, where he was talking to Europeans about what to do. Like, you guys need to get food storage. You guys need to get communication. You need to get solar charged electronics. You need to get the ability to protect yourself, whatever that means, right? If it's a war-torn Europe, I promise Kalashnikovs are going to be laying on the ground. That's a big thing that people don't realize. Of like, if it's actual war, there'll be plenty of guns. Don't worry. You don't want to have to do that. You don't want that type of reality. What you want is to be away from people, be away from the populace, right? Get away from the population-dense areas, because you got a couple of risks: scarcity of food and people behaving poorly, right? Those are our two main factors: scarcity of food and people behaving poorly. And so how do we mitigate that? Prep your food so you don't have to go to the grocery store, and get away from people, right? Create some standoff, right? I mean, if you're 25 miles from the nearest person, or from the nearest large populace, that's a lot of walking space that they got to get in. They got to get through to get to you. And are they even coming to you? Do they even know where to look where you are, right? So definitely something to think into. Where do you recommend to fly into for one of your trainings? Big Timber. If you can fly into Fort Smith, that's the quickest way. However, it's usually not the cheapest. Fayetteville and Tulsa are seemingly the most affordable to fly into. However, sometimes you can snag a pretty cheap flight through United into Fort Smith, and they've got like a small regional airport there, and then you're like 35-ish minutes from the shop, so it's not too bad. But if you fly into Tulsa, you're like an hour and a half, 2 hours, depending on traffic, away from the shop. And so then you can either stay in Fort Smith, or you can stay in, like there's a big town by us, Poteau, all that stuff.
Strategic Observations on Instagram said doing another Care Under Fire/CLS course this weekend.
That's awesome. That is really awesome. I pair the Boo Boo 2.0 and a BPK kit from Refuge for each vehicle, ×3 now. This is budget friendly and works well, covers many issues. It's like a mini kit for poors like me. No, it's not a poors like you thing. That's why we built those kits. Like, in all reality, we wanted to build more kits that gave you boo-boo capability and massive bleeding capability, and they were budget friendly, right? So that way you could grab one of each and you could stick it in a vehicle. Like that, this is why we did this. It wasn't because like some people are poor. It's because majority of Americans can't afford to spend, $269 on a Bearfac ×4, right? Do I think that people should be saving money to do that? Yes, I do. I think that we should be prioritizing medical gear over their 9th AR-15. But at this rate, I also understand that a BPK is $60. And so grabbing a BPK can be life or death, and it's great for in the freaking glove box. It really is. Gosh, it's almost like we sized it to go in a glove box. That's so weird.
You know what?
What?
I gotta get my friggin' slit kit. That stump.
You still haven't gotten the slit kit off the stump? For anybody who was here 2 weeks ago, Lauren talked about how her slit kit was sitting on a stump. We have had, I'm so excited because it's got to be 7 inches of rain.
We've had rain. the day that it got put out there, it was so cold, my freaking fingers were hurting, so I was taking photos.
Oh
of our
my
kids in the
gosh.
sun. And then, since then, now we're having like 60 degrees, so it's had such a shift. So we'll have to open it up and see how everything is.
Joshua Butler says, food shortage scares me more than people behaving poorly. Yeah, absolutely.
Start behaving poorly because of this.
That's why people will start behaving poorly. Because say you don't know and you're not paying attention and you got 3 kids. You got a week's worth of food in your house. You go to the grocery store, nothing there. A lot of pressure just got put on you. A lot of pressure. What would you do? Anything to protect your kids, right? Anything to feed your kids, right? So think about that next time you tell people about your food storage. Think about that next time you blast on where you're located, on, you know, where you live, all that jazz, what you're doing. Guys, it's not a game. It's really not, you know. And getting food and putting it in multiple locations, I think, is really important. Have systems of redundancy. Stop buying chest rigs. Stop it. I say that to myself as much as I say that to you guys. Stop. If you have gear, you're good. You shouldn't need, you don't want to need the gear. You're not going to be there to eat that food if you use that gear all the time, because every time you step out using that gear, it's less likely you come back, right? I have a good buddy he's a SWAT cop, and we'll do force-on-force training. And that good buddy, sometimes, you know, in that force-on-force training, you get shot because somebody makes a mistake, you make a mistake, or you lose. And he'll look at you square in the face and be like, man, sometimes it just sucks to be the police. And that's the reality. Sometimes it just sucks. Sometimes people get shot. And so if you can not put yourself in that position, if somebody was like, Bob, you're going to be in a gunfight at 3 p.m. tomorrow, what are you doing to get ready? I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm not going to show up. I'm not going.
Well, it looks like
I've got plans at 3 o'clock, 2:55. I actually have a prior engagement. Yeah, that's not going to work for my schedule. And that's the thing is, you know, like, set a budget. If you guys, if you have a budget, which you should have a budget if you're a responsible adult, arguably, right? If you have a budget and say, you know, for the last year you allowed yourselves to spend $100 in going out to eat every month, right? Or every 2 weeks or whatever have you, right? Stop. Take that money and put it into food storage. Put it into medical gear. Put it into training. Put it into communications. Put it into sustainable living, whether that's solar, whether that's water storage, whether that's livestock, whether that's chickens, like whatever have you. Stop going to the restaurants. Stop going to the movies. I know it sounds rough because I'm like, stop having fun, but stop it. Dude, we're not there right now as a country. We're not afforded that luxury anymore. The good times have created the weak men. The weak men have created the hard times. The hard times are upon us, friend. We're about to see how strong we can truly become. And so remember that, right? Resilience. Be smart with your budget. Be smart with your resources. Be smart with your finances. Don't do dumb crap. And I'm not saying never go out to eat. I went out to eat with my friends last week, right? But it was the first, I was talking with my buddy about it, the first time we had done it in, I don't know, a year. Because we take our resources and we pour it into being more prepared, so that way we can perpetuate life in normal standards for a family. If something bad happens, if a hurricane happens, if a fire happens, if a flood happens, if the aliens invade because Project Bluebeam Bro, or whatever nonsense, we have the ability to project normalcy, right? At least for an extended period of time until normalcy is no longer possible, right? But that's all we want to do. We don't want to do anything crazy. We just want to be able to, you know, live peaceably, worship the Creator, you know, raise our children up in the way that it should go, love our families, right? Love our neighbor as ourselves, and in all that, love the Lord our God, right? That's the whole point of all of this, right?
So RJ brought up, you know, HSA is an awesome option for the budget, using your HSA or FSA to,
Yeah.
when you do need to get kits. if you have that available to you.
Yeah, if you have HSA and FSA and you're not using it to stock first aid supplies right now, you're messing up, in my opinion. If you don't have to use it for something else medically, like I would be using that for gear. I would use it every single day, and you just don't have enough medical gear. You don't. You don't, especially if they shut the supply chain off. We don't have enough medical gear. We have a whole company. We don't have enough medical gear. Something we talk about constantly. How do we build our inventory without it being a liability, right? To have more preps, right? To have more ability to impact our community and our fellow man for good, right? It's cool to have all the self-defense tools. It's cool to have, night vision and ballistic helmets and all that stuff, but you don't want to use that. You don't. You want to effect good unto people. We went out to eat for our birthday. We are not used to eating out. I felt sick the next 2 days. Yeah, it's probably not. It's based.
It's just chemicals.
Yeah, it's gross.
It's just chemicals.
If you carry a firearm, also carry medical gear. Super true. Bob's whiteboard. Have enough. Yeah, absolutely. I broke it down for you guys. It's somewhere over there. I think it's on that board. But I mean, you need a lot more medical gear than you think you do. Especially if you're going to sustain people with a ruck, truck, house theory. If you're going to sustain multiple people, dude, it's not cheap, and it takes time to build those resources. And this is a great time to be working together with people, to be forming community. Reach out to those in your church, reach out to those in your fellowship, reach out to those in your family, reach out to those who are friends, and be like, hey, are you serious about this? It's getting to the point, guys, just so you know, I'm having normal people come into the shop and ask how to be prepared. Asking like, hey, should I have how do I build a Bugout bag? And I'm like, why do you need a Bugout bag? They're like, well, what do I have to bug out? I'm like, what do you think they're coming for here? Who do you think you are? They're not coming for you. Stop, settle down, chill out. You need to build your food storage. You need to build water storage, right? Covers first aid. Question, if HSA, FSA covers first aid nylon, not kits, got some Refuge kits, awesome, and got some self-built kits that need a nylon upgrade. I don't know that it covers the nylon. It's got to have the components in it. Sorry about that, bro. Yeah, tried to. I have a huge Rubbermaid tote full of Refuge Medical supplies, an adventure kit, Refuge Medical refill bucket for backup supplies on top of all my med kits. Yeah, that's a big thing. Yeah, like what Beartron is saying, wound care buckets, that's huge, dude. Let's talk about it. I don't even know how much longer we're going to be able to sustainably sell wound care buckets, by the way. Just so y'all know. It's one of the reasons we put them on the subscribe and save. The components in these are getting harder and harder to source, right? Britt does a phenomenal job. She really does. She works her butt off for you. She works every of the 6 days. Like, literally every of the 6 days to make sure that this stuff is in stock for you guys. And it's getting to the point now where it's like, dude, challenging. Really, really challenging. It's almost as if we have multiple large-scale conflicts that are swallowing up gear and supplies. And we saw this happen at the end of COVID, right when Ukraine kicked off. Shit disappeared from the market. And if it continues to get worse, watch it happen. We set up the subscribe and save on the wound care bucket so that you guys could order one a month, budget for it, and save a little bit of cheddar, right? We didn't do that because we were like, oh, this is a good sales tactic. No, we did that because we want you guys to be able to save money and to keep ordering wound care buckets because you'll probably need them if stuff gets bad, right? It's really, really important because, like, this isn't sexy. This isn't some, like, tactical first aid kit that you would use as an operator, which have their place and are very important. This is gauze. This is like your kid got a laceration and you need to dress it for the next 2 weeks. This is Billy fell, cracked his head open, and now we have to use steri strips to close the wound as well as keep it clean and wrap his head for the next 2 weeks. That's what this is, right? Yeah, it'll support a traumatic injury in treating it, but that's not the point of this. The point of this is to be able to care for wounds over an extended period of time. We put it in a bucket so that you could prep it. We wanted you to prep it because it's important inside your lines of gear. It really, really is. If you guys don't have this gear, and like multiple, right? Because this is a 30-day supply. How many people are in your family? 4. Okay, if you want a 6-month supply, that's 6 buckets times 4. You're at 24 buckets right there, okay? Now, I know that's a lot of med gear. I don't think you need necessarily that much. Hopefully you guys aren't wounded for 6 months straight. But the reality of the fact is, like, what if it's not just you? What if it's your neighbors? What if it's your animals? What if it's your community? You know, I'm a fervent believer in, like, we're supposed to do good unto one another. And so having this gear on hand is very, very important. Very important. Hey, thanks, Big Timber. That's really kind, bro.
That's cool.
Very, very kind. Britt is a machine. Britt is a machine. I'm on back order for my Coyote stomp bag. That's awesome. We got stomps being built, I think, this week and next week. The big thing is we're just waiting on bags, buddy. And we make them here. So, you know, that's the big thing. I'm glad to have the wound care bucket. Need a couple more. Kevin, I recommend that you sign up for the subscribe and save, bro. I really do. You save money. And it's easy to, you know, just budget for it. And you're like, okay, $100 a month. Our local thrift stop sells items given to them when hospice patients pass. We've gotten tons of factory sealed items, plus crutches. That's a great idea.
So cool.
That's a great come up. That's awesome. Also, make sure you know where things are in your kit. Like, you should be able to tell someone exactly where stuff is. Yeah, I actually had a friend who was rendering aid, and he struggled because he wasn't as familiar as he wanted to be with his kit. And it was a bear fac, right? You guys don't just put them away. Like, if you're dry firing with your tools, go once a month, go through your first aid kit, check stuff. Okay, this is where the chest seals are, right? Like, hey, babe, can you quiz me on where my chest seals are? Yeah, this seems kind of silly. Yeah, it is silly, but if there's a medical emergency, I just want to make sure when I'm stressed out, I know where this stuff is. Oh, that makes sense. 25 minutes. 25 minutes, and you're that much more prepared, right? Really, really, really is important. Train, and then train some more. You guys are awesome. I will have to check your products out. Hey, thanks, James King. The main thing is, bro, is we're out here trying to save lives while in service to the fathers. And because the Father's kingdom is everything, and he is the one, the Alpha, the Omega, the first and the last, the Aleph and the Tav, right? And he needs to be worshipped. And if we can save lives unto him, he takes care of us.
Oh. Our live video ended on Instagram for no reason.
That's weird. That doesn't seem like Instagram. How many people have signed up for the Ruckus? I don't know. Last I heard was like 100-ish more. You guys need to sign up if you're not signed up. Come hang out with us. Seriously, it's going to be a great time. What an opportunity to come worship, to be in person, hang out, give a hug, skin to skin, shake hands. We'll have some awesome dealers out there and vendors. We'll have people out there with like kit, right? So like actual like cool guy kit. There's a night vision vendor that's coming out, so you'll be able to look through all these different night vision devices, thermal devices. So that's a great way to test stuff if you've been thinking about purchasing, as well as you can talk to somebody there about like how that actually works and what actually is involved there. There's amazing speakers talking from everything about women's self-defense to preparedness to rural preparedness, urban preparedness, how to be better men, all these things, right? And then Sunday we do the Ruck, which is to build awareness and continue to build funds for Caleb House, right? Which we're going to throw a middle finger up to child traffickers. We're going to go out there and carry the weight of these kids on our backs so that, you know, people in our community and people in the community and people online see that, you know, individuals are standing against this. They're putting their money where their mouth is. They're putting their rucksack where their mouth is. Bob, it's $200 to sign up and I got to travel. Yeah, dude, you got to travel and it costs money to sign up. That money goes to a 501c3. Write it off on your taxes, bro. Write it off. Write the whole thing off on your taxes, right? Do good unto others, right? Come be a part of something bigger. Come be a part of the mission. If you ever wanted to get involved with us and what we do, it's a great way to do it. Great way to do it. Bob, I added a stud kit, a Schlishman, and a SWAT tee to my Bear Fact 3.0. That's freaking awesome. That's super dope. Tip, post your own address and phone number on your mirror so in an emergency you know it. Believe me, it's easy to forget. Ask me how I know. Yeah, so many people have forgotten their own address and their own telephone number. I don't recommend necessarily like putting it on your mirror because then like
break it into your car and
yeah.
Put it like on a band like or something.
Yeah, a lot of people have like emergency bands, stuff like that, or put it on a card in your first aid kit. That's like, I usually have like medical information cards in my first aid kits where it's like, this is my name. Remember to check your ID, train to check your ID, stuff like that. But don't necessarily like give out sensitive information, but finding a way to like have cheat sheets, basically, very important. That's a great note. Professional gunsmithing in southeastern Florida. Clients ask about medical kits all the time. James, why don't you get with Fo, and Fo can get you stocked up, right? You can get a couple of demo kits, and then you can sell Refuge kits to anybody who asks, and then you get a kickback too. So it's the opportunity to put good American first aid kits into people's hands, right? And then it also allows you to make a little bit of cheddar. And so you're saving lives, you're making a little bit of cash. You're not going to make a ton. I'm not going to tell you you're making like, you know, a bunch of money off this. You're not. But that's just because we don't have huge margins. We're a normal company. But it gives you the ability to help people and further save lives, as well as, you know, workmen worth their hire. And I'm sure we can help you out in some other way too. And then, you know, if you're doing gunsmithing in southeastern Oklahoma, why don't you come up for the Ruckus? The Ruckus is a large-scale event that we're putting on to raise money for a facility that fights against it rehabilitates victims of child sex trafficking, right? So it works with rescue organizations to bring in kiddos, to restore them, to give them the counseling they need, to give them, you know, the trauma aid and support that they need, to give them a safe space to be able to grow, laugh, flourish, and become productive members of society and not be sucked back into that world of darkness. So it's a 3-day event, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, there's a bunch of speakers. Saturday, there's a bunch of worship and hanging out and reading. And then Sunday, we ruck. So it's a really, really cool opportunity to come together as a group of people. It's in Fort Smith, so you can come hang out with us. Bob, have you thought about adding the TCCC card into the Bearfac? We have thought about that. However, we have it as a component in the store. We just don't force that onto people. That's the main thing.
Yeah, so where we're located. So we're near Fort Smith, Arkansas, and that's where the ruck is going to be too. James did, the guy that was talking about that.
Awesome, thank you. Where are you located? When is the ruckus? We're in Spiro, Oklahoma. So that's northeastern Oklahoma, right by Fort Smith. The ruckus is in Fort Smith, Arkansas. So that'll help you out. It's the first weekend of March. March 8 through 10 is the dates of the ruckus.
Dude, Ben Valley said, oh, great news on Buddy and Wreck. Remember, he was the guy that got thrown? He was in Fayetteville. He's now in Springfield, Missouri, and they're having him set and now off most pain meds except Tylenol.
Wow.
So please keep him in your prayers. Y'all worked great miracles with this. That is incredible.
That is super cool.
That is so cool.
That is really, really awesome.
Farmer Plus. What's that?
Ruckus equals Fort Smith, Arkansas, March 8th through 10th. Yeah. What's up, Chicken Farmer Plus? Good dude. Good dude.
Do you want to announce the zip?
Yeah, we're about there. All right, let's announce the dude. Okay, so is that a dudette?
Nope.
No, that's a dude.
That's a
okay.
dude.
I couldn't tell. I was like, is that? All right, so I'm working in Pensacola at 6 degrees outdoors and have a shop in Poto. James.
Wait, what?
I love 6 degrees in Pensacola. I love that shop. My good buddy Josh used to work there. So
how do you not know about
How do you not know?
Like,
Why are we so rough? Oh, okay. That's fine. Come hang out. We're in Spiro. Come by, see the shop.
Ford Holsters is like...
Ford Holsters is there. So, you know, Garrett, who works there, he makes all of our tourniquet holsters. I also have to go pick those up, like, today or tomorrow.
So he meets with people all the time. We're asking about medical kits, and we're like, hey.
Hey, we're right here. Please help us. The dude abides. I'd love to be able to attend the ruckus, yet I'm in Northern California. Dude, we got people that are traveling from Alaska. You can do it, Shannon. You really can do it. I believe in you.
Oh, there we go. All right, we're back. My low power mode on the phone.
Awesome. I've only been over here for 2 months. Oh, okay, cool. So you're new to the area. Totally fine. Come by Spyro. Like if you're driving from Poto to Pacola, the way you're probably taking, if you take the main roads, we're that big place that says, go away, we don't sell weed. That's because everybody thought we were a dispensary, and we're not. And if you wish that we sold weed, suck it. I don't care. That's to one person in specific, who I'm sure is not watching this. It's okay. We had somebody hate on us. It's all good. Hate is going to hate. Potatoes going potato. So, the winner of the Op Pack, which is a tactical medicine freaking badass first aid kit. You're doing so great. You're doing so great. As well as 2 tack straps from Alien Gear is going to be Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones, come on down. Daniel Jones, you won the Op Pack. It's a freaking sweet medical kit. It's about $1,200 retail value. We're super happy for you. Hopefully you don't ever have to use this, but I'm glad you have it just in case, man. So go ahead and reach out to us, Daniel. We'll try to find you, get a hold of you somehow, some way. If you're here, you know, say what's up in the chat. But I don't know if he's here or not. But hopefully this does you well. You know, we've seen some really awesome people who needed these kits win, which is really important. So I'm pumped for you, my friend. This is super cool. We'll try to get this in the mail to you this week, so that way you can get it soon. And yeah, man, be a good time. It'll party. We'll party. All the cools for the stash. Congratulations. Congratulations, everybody. Congratulating you in the chat. Daniel Jones did it. Our next giveaway, guys, is going to be pretty dang big. I'm not going to lie. It's going to have some awesome brands coming alongside of us. It's going to give you the opportunity to step into a different side of tactical medicine that we don't normally talk about or do. It's very cool guy-esque. It'll give you new vision capabilities. See what I did there? See what I did there? It'll help you in the dark. That's all I'm going to say. It'll help you in the dark.
But don't miss out on the other giveaway we have going on right now, guys. It is the easiest giveaway to enter. You don't even have to buy anything.
You literally,
like, you're signed up for email, signed up for SMS, and then post a picture of your kit that you probably already have and tag us in it. And you could do one of those things and you're entered.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a W. Definitely very, very cool. We are running that. I don't know how long Britt's running that giveaway for. I don't know when she's got an end date. And then when that one is done, which is not for, you don't have to purchase anything, then we'll start our other giveaway, which is going to be pretty freaking sweet, to be honest. Did not know about the giveaway, however, very awesome for Daniel. Yeah, it's really, really cool. We'll make sure to talk about our next giveaway a lot.
It will be a lot.
A lot.
Content.
A lot of content around it. It's going to be pretty sweet.
Post a pic where? Post a pic on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, I guess Twitter. I get on there sometimes. Like,
yeah, we're not on X a ton.
Any of the socials. I know. I'm not going to call it that. Like,
it's so hard.
Still a tweet. Like, what am I supposed to call it?
An X?
An X? So dumb.
It's so dumb.
Anyways, any of the social medias that we're on, and just tag us. If your account is private, I did have a guy who like unprivated his account just to share the thing and tag us in it, and then went back after I shared it and like made it private again. But he got entered.
Yep.
So.
Somebody said, wait, I signed up for the newsletter and sent a kit pick and I'm entered? Yes, that is what you do. And then you're entered in to win the family giveaway. So that's got an adventure kit, which is like a $600 first aid kit. It's fully built out. It's awesome. Then you get an ankle kit, which those are back in stock. If you guys haven't seen it, we're doing the pre-order on that. I think we're shipping 50 out here today, tomorrow. It's pretty dope. And then you also get a family tourniquet pack and a boo-boo kit. So a lot of capability there. A lot of capability. So definitely recommend. I don't have social media. Just make an account. Just make a ghost account and then do it. It helps us in the algorithm, bro.
Also, good for you.
Good for you not having social media. You're free. You're free. Anybody from out west going to the ruckus? I'd drive a caravan possibly. I'm an older female, 68. That's an awesome question, Shannon. And it's definitely something that, you know, probably isn't talked about enough. Guys, don't hesitate getting on the Bear Independent Discord.
Just about to say Discord would be a good place
get on the Bear Independent Discord, talk to other people from California, see if anybody else is traveling, and see if they can, you know, carpool, ride together.
Sign sign up for the newsletter where? Liberty inserts link here. It's on the home page of the website. I will send the link to the website.
She's sending the link right now. And somebody asked for the Discord link as well.
I think that is on
Patreon.
So we can't actually.
I can't share the Discord link, but if you are a member of Bear's Patreon, you get the Discord link. And so it's like, I think it's like $1 or $2 a month. It's pretty cheap. And then you get all of like literally thousands upon thousands of dollars of content and teaching content, which will help you out a lot.
So when you go on the website, guys, if you scroll down just past the banner where it says USA Made quality stuff, it's going to have the Family Preparedness giveaway and all of your ways to enter with a button there that says sign up for email and SMS. And if you, like, you know, you get those SMS from companies who just send you stuff all the time. We send memes and we tell you about giveaways and, like, when things are back in stock. So,
yeah, absolutely. All right. So with that, we've been live for enough time at this point.
We've been live for like an hour and a half almost.
Yeah.
So
hour 25 minutes. With that, guys, go get your preps, get your buckets, get your house in order. It's getting weird. You need to do it. I recommend getting the buckets now while we're still carrying them. Seriously, because it's getting harder and harder every week. And that's not even an over exaggeration. We used to have like stacks of pre-built buckets. No mas. No mas. So, without a doubt, Bob, can we pray, please? We sure can pray. Here we go. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the opportunity to hang out with these homies. Thank you for all that you've given us here. Thank you for your love, your mercy, your protection, the ability that you have given us to do work unto you, for redeeming us out of the world, for forgiving us of our sins, because we are wretched creatures. Thank you for guiding our hearts and our minds towards you. Father, please fix our eyes on you so that we can continue to do work into the kingdom. Please protect everybody in this stream. I pray that you would just pull them closer to you, not into the world. Guide their hearts and their minds into what they're supposed to do right now, whatever that may be, Father. And we love you. We praise you for how you're working right now. We know the world's crazy, but you are stable. You are consistent. You are good. You are holy. You're sovereign. And we trust you. And we love you. It's in your name, Yeshua. Amen. Amen, amen. All right, guys. With that, I'm out like a light in a storm.